Hey guys, it's Avenger, welcome back to the channel, and today we're back at Juneau, Alaska, because I'm testing something bigger. And if that tail looks familiar in the, obviously, thumbnail you've already seen, you'll know this is the Snow Palm Studios SPS-8 Q4NG. Now even the camera's been quite hiding behind a fence here, but let's be honest, this is a Dash-8 Q400. And one I didn't think I saw coming. I know there's projects around, I think. Oh, it's Majestic. We're looking at doing theirs. Now, this is €22 on simmarket, and I'm not sure what I'm expecting. But we're going to look at this because it's a plane that I think a lot of people will be interested in, a turboprop regional. And this comes with 4 liveries, as you can see here, which are actually rather refreshingly in lore, that's the term from other games, lore, in-universe airlines, so Orbit and the others, which I kind of find cool. There's also a plain white one, which will probably work for liveries, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some. But it comes with, of course, glass cockpit integrated with the Asobo avionics, rain, icing, wheel and engine effects with startup checklists, interior and exterior lighting, exterior doors, baggage, fueling and power, integration with the Sim Flight Planner, capable of VFR and IFR flight, ILS landings, and there are apparently free updates, which I'd hope there are free updates. Let's take a look at the actual stats on the 400 first. So the Dash-8 Q400, or the Dash-8 at least, came out in 1984, and of course now Bombardier in 92. Now, apparently it's Longview Aviation Capital 2019, but the Q400 series is a stretched version, of course. First came in the mid-90s. Now this one is longer, it can seat 78 plus passengers. Now, there is apparently plans for a proposed Q400X stretched model, which is already a long boy, so, you know, that's already a thing. So this one, of course, does come with the, if I look at my numbers correctly, that's the Series 200. The 400 is the 99 variant with 68, and then we go up to 78, which is the 402. So if this is meant to be a 78-seater, that would realistically be the Q400, 70 to 78 seats. Now, performance-wise, it will go up to about 350 knots, and its cruise range is just about over 1,100 nautical miles. So let's go and have a look at this thing, shall we? Please click the button. There we go. And my head's working, so let's turn that off. That to start with. Let's take a look at the exterior of this aircraft. So, kind of simple. I mean, there's rivet detail. It's not hopeful already. It's kind of jagged. There's some rivet detail. So I'm going to already say, exterior-wise, this is on a par with... This is on a par with Virtua Col already from the exterior. Nose looks slightly off to me. Landing gear check. We do those things. Okay, it disappears when I try and get too close. Looks kind of simple. And that's also surprising. I can't get close to the aircraft without it going invisible. What's in the back? Nothing's in the back. Okay then. Let's take a look at the cockpit, shall we? Zoom out in here. Ooh. Yeah, this is on par with... Virtual Col have advanced past this point, actually. So we've got our DC control, APU systems, how much of this actually functions. Okay, so a lot of these things are non-functional, inoperative. We have got more inoperative. The lights work. Well, it's tied to the standard control, so that should work. Those all function. Our windshield wipers do not work. Pitot-static does work, it's tied to something already. Prop de-ice does function, apparently. Engine intake icing. We have airframe mode select, DC control. So let's turn our powers on here. That doesn't work. I'm sensing a theme along here. So this looks like standard avionics pulled from one of the Airbuses. at least unlike the Virtual Call other aircraft they released, the 190 Embraer, they at least changed the default Airbus FMS system to actually have the name of the aircraft in it, which is fair enough. So engine control seems kind of simplistic. So we can turn the yoke off, that's a positive. Those switches do nothing. I will say this looks like something that should have come out of FS 2004. There is texture on the seat, just not much. And as we look back here behind us, not really anything. Quite honestly, I'm not sure how I would even start this with half the controls non-functional. So, what have we got down here? Radio systems. This is why this is the first look review, because I'm looking at this for the first time, and I'm actually not that impressed. Well, let's go for the old Magic Control E, because I'm pretty sure nothing else is going to function properly. So, let's make sure these are all forwards as they need to be. Power's there. I think that's the default King Air sounds. There is a very good chance of that. Yeah, the front even looks bobbly. Profile of the nose here. Not that impressed right now, and I don't like being critical of things for no reason, but this one's rough. It should be freeware, quite honestly. I'm going to fly it and see how it flies, because we're interested in that sort of thing, as I believe my second engine hasn't come up yet. It's probably going to try at some point to do that. Let's see if it's going to go for that at all. Would you give me my second engine, please? Because engine 1 on the left is good. Engine 2 is not good yet. These screens are really hard to read as well. Everything seems quite distant, and that almost seems chopped off on the main PFD. Yep, our other engine is not coming up yet. Are you planning to start at some point? Okay, what do we got to do to make you start? Where would you be located? Give it a bit of juice if it wants to come up or not. Our engine start controls up here. I was looking forward to flying an aircraft that would let me fly the start right, hopefully. ITT is 15, we've got no torque yet. Come on, give me right engine. No. Is this only left engine? That'd be really awkward, wouldn't it? That's our APU up there. I've commanded it to start too. Oh, we've got numbers, we've got ignition. Okay, cool, fantastic. We've got a second engine starting up, and that blur is kinda crispy around the edges. Okay, so let's go take this bird for a spin, shall we? Now, the pilot's initial seating position is quite low, so let's turn my head on here. Drop back down there. Okay, so parking brakes are off. There's a relative FPS impact on this. It's a bit chunky, which for something this simple I'm genuinely shocked by. Let's pull my props back here. Condition to low. Yeah, I'm getting a rather chunky experience from this. It could be Juno, but it's not normally this bad, because I definitely got a far better experience with... Why am I going backwards now? I did not... Why? Backwards. My throttles are not in... Apparently they were in reverse. Who knew? Right, we'll get ourselves out towards the runway. Yeah, there's definitely stuttering with this aircraft, which is unusual given that I don't normally experience this sort of behaviour in the sim. Let's see if this improves past the buildings, although I'm going to be quite surprised if it does. Because I got a feeling this is coming from the aircraft itself rather than from the simulator. This is really sharp. Like, and the Phoenix A320 hurt my performance, but this is showing worse than even that was, which is... That was a hard hitter. Dropping as low as 18 here, which is unusual. For those who aren't aware, I do have a tiny FPS counter at the top right of my screen. You can see it over below the panel there. I always keep that on. It's part of Steam's overlay, so if you want one yourself, you can use Steam's overlay one. Yeah, this is interesting. You know what? This is enough taxiing. This is enough runway for us. We'll be just fine. Oh, that's Chunkazilla. If we get up in the sky and it's still this bad, then we know exactly what's causing it rather than it being the airport itself. Okay. Flight configuration. No flight manual included in this, by the way, so you're going off either luck and or hope. Wow, this is juddery as hell. Takeoff power. And it's veering to the right immediately. That's quite unusual. I have both throttles up. And we're veering right. Okay, we'll hold it straight here. Lots of left pedal needed. Oh, God! No. Immediately veers left. My left engine's not right engine's not performing as well as my left. Interesting. Hold this to the right. All controls are advanced fully. Throttles are identically positioned. I'm receiving less power from my right engine. In fact, my right engine's off, I'm pretty sure. That was started and running. Yeah, that was running. I believe at one point or another. And I'm still getting pretty tragic performance on this, so... Yeah, this is looking great. Okay, engine is coming up. Or it claims to be coming up. I'm getting very mixed readings here. So RPM's rising. Boom, there goes torque. And we immediately get more authority back. So we have retracted our gear. Or have we? Because that's cycled, and... Okay, our gear is up. That's a good start. Let's have a look at the animation here for the gear. That's hollow inside the bay there, I think. In fact, yes, I can see sky through the landing gear well. No interior actual texture to the actual landing gear well, it seems, because you can see through it. Interesting. Okay, let's pull this power back here. We are overspeeding quite significantly. Although I'm really not enjoying this test flight because of the choppiness. You've seen my videos before, I have a decent system. And this thing, despite what I would say is on the low end of FPS, 20 to 24, that's really bad, to be honest. I should be hitting 50 plus looking out over this sort of environment. There's not much for it to see. So to be this chunky, that's a bit of a struggle bus, I think. I'm going to make an early judgment here before we even attempt a landing. This is not worth the price. This should most likely be freeware. I try to be as polite as possible and constructive. The texturing is subpar. The engine functionality is extremely simplistic to basic slash completely stock. The sounds are stock. The instruments are stock. It's actually not as good as a stock aircraft. They at least look a lot better. Right, my flaps, I believe, are still extended, but I'm leaving them out because I'm coming back in to land this thing as quickly as possible. Gears going down. Oh, this is a horrible experience. I'm sorry, guys, for this being quite so choppy. But I feel like I at least need to complete this and put it back on the runway. But this is mind-blowingly choppy. Probably hard to watch, actually. It's hard to fly with this. As I've mentioned, I've a decent system. I run a 2700X Ryzen CPU with a RTX 3070 Ti graphics card, 32 gigs of RAM, and FS is on an SSD. It runs great on Ultra, and this is what we're on Ultra. This is not great at all. I've flown out of Juno in the 737 by PMDG and the Phoenix A320, both of which arguably are far more complex. The Phoenix struggled on FPS, but was still relatively smooth. I'm getting significant choppiness from this, more so than the FPS should really allow, because it should be a lot better than this. 140. Coming in over the hill here. Yeah, I really feel like I need to complete this and put it back on the ground just for the sake of saying I did actually land it again. Now, I do hate to be rude about things. I really want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, but I'm going to be honest, this is the second video where I will say I don't think much effort was put in here. Some effort was put in, and I think judging it by its quality and the general appearance, it's low poly, interior and exterior. It's lacking in any features to make up for that, but more importantly, it's just underwhelming. It has some sort of massive memory leak in it that's causing poor performance, because this is getting worse as time goes on. Like, I believe there is actually a memory leak somewhere in the files for this aircraft, because that would explain... Yeah, that would also help. Thank you. Wow, it hates me so much that my internet even doesn't like me. Okay, thank you. Go away. And I'm connected again. Thank you, Microsoft. Love how it does that. We're off center here. Hard to actually center this thing when it's juddering like a slideshow. There we go. Power back. I will at least land this thing capably. Over the trees. Please take me, trees. I don't want to live anymore. It's... thing is, I've been looking forward to one of the Dash-8s, and this is... not it. I would safely say the Virtual Embraers are actually a step above this. You know what? Part of me is saying go for the trees. No. I know where this belongs. I know where this belongs. Become like your de Havilland cousins. I know we're getting a DHC too. That's a bus in the water. That's hilarious. Yes, become like your de Havilland cousins. You want to be a beaver. So yes, I'm going to cut the fuel on this because holy crap. Yeah, so this was interesting as far as trips go. And the engines are still running despite cutting the fuel off. Really don't recommend it. Honestly, I thought looking at the pictures it might actually have potential, but they were very selective on simmarket. 22 euros? No, I really think this should have been freeware. It's definitely not ready yet. And if this is supposed to be, this will be updated and improved over time, I think they perhaps should have waited for it to be updated a lot more before it came out. Not worth the money, poor performance, strange flight dynamics, borrowed code for a lot of the instruments, if not all of them, stock sounds. Really don't like it. I'm sorry to give you guys a bad review, but there you go. Thanks for watching. Bye.